Hi, my name is Kevin McPeak, and I'm here to give the first in a series of presentations on the subject of leadership within technology. And in this presentation, what I would specifically like to address is the concept of ethics and how important ethics are in developing the proper policies within a large technical organization, and from those policy guidelines, how effective processes and procedures can be developed that can help an organization to achieve their goals, and goals that are synchronous with their ethical guidelines of the organization. And I'll provide a specific example from within the realm of Department of Defense where this very concept was developed and implemented. Specifically, I would say that there are what we would call morals. Morals are the as is. It's the moral framework that we operate under within our organizations where we work and where our technical systems are developed and maintained and go through their system development life cycle. Ethics, on the other hand, are the desired to be. The ethics are at a higher level, in most organizations at least, than where the morals are. So the goal in developing effective policy is not to put your policies exactly in line with where your current morals are, but to set a higher standard, to move your policies in such a way that they reflect the desired ethical framework, the ethics that the organization wishes to strive to. So developing those and then implementing those can be a stretch for the organization, but it's a worthy goal because it improves and enhances the organization and moves those policies will move the organization towards their ultimate goal that the senior leadership establishes within their ethical framework. Specifically within, as I mentioned, within the Department of Defense, there's a great example. And I came through this example by reading a book written by the famous author Tom Clancy. And as you know, Tom Clancy's written a lot of literature that is in the realm of fiction related to U.S. and allied national security interests. And some of these thriller novels, they read in such a way that it shows a great deal of knowledge about the inner workings of the Department of Defense. But the author Tom Clancy also has a series of books where he specifically interviews general officers within the U.S. military and senior field grade officers as well to learn their operational backgrounds and some of the leadership traits and policies that they've done, that they have and that they've utilized successfully within their operational environments throughout their career. And one book which I have right here is called Every Man a Tiger. And in this book, Tom Clancy conducts sort of like an interview style with retired Air Force General Chuck Horner. And in the book, General Horner relates the story about how when he was in the Air Force and was serving at the rank of colonel, it was the era of an Air Force general named Bill Creech. And General Creech was a transformative type of general in that he set very high ethical standards, and he insisted that policies were put in place that reflected that. And General Creech was commander of SAC within the Air Force, the Strategic Air Command, SAC. In this capacity, Clancy sort of details the information provided by General Horner in the book and talks about a situation where at specific Air Force bases there were aircraft that, and this was in the post-Vietnam era before when there were large budget cuts and morale was down within the U.S. military. And what was happening is certain aircraft were down for maintenance, for system repairs, and these aircraft sat in the hangars. The pilots were unable to get their training in. The flight crews, the training crews, the technicians, nobody basically had effective training because these aircraft were offline. And the policy that General Creech implemented was that the legacy scenario was the pilot's name was emblazoned on the side of the aircraft. But they added the policy where the senior non-commissioned officer in charge of maintaining the aircraft would also have his or her name emblazoned right under that as the person responsible for the maintenance of that aircraft. And simply by doing that, by having that sort of accountability for the maintenance of these aircraft, the metrics showed that less aircraft were in the hangar, offline, so to speak, for a shorter period of time, because there was pride in ownership. Once the senior NCO, the tech sergeant, had his or her name on the aircraft, it created a cultural change in the organization, where so driven by the policy that to change, to put those names, reflected the ethics of the organization to better enhance the availability of those flights. I want to thank you for listening to my presentation, and this concludes my talk. Thank you.